Pilots at Newark Airport are dodging lasers again. Last night, 4 flights over New York and New Jersey were targeted. 3 of them happened fairly close together.
Green laser illumination event 20 miles south of Newark. Green in color, 3,000 feet.
Luckily, there were no injuries, but it comes just 1 week after at least a dozen pilots say they were targeted by lasers. Kris Van Cleave is joining us now from Washington, D.C. with more. Kris, thanks for being with us. So what can you tell us about the latest incident?
Sure, Vlad. So these were 4 separate airliners that reported laser strikes. And we're talking about laser pointers that look something like this. This one we bought off of Amazon for, about $40. So they're not terribly expensive. They're not terribly big, but they can be very powerful, especially at night. The green light is very, very bright and can temporarily blind pilots, can even cause some injuries to eyes during that exposure, particularly at night. So these 4 incidents, 3 of them happened within about a 20-minute period on flights that were all inbound for Newark Airport. The 4th, which was a Spirit Airlines flight, happened a few hours later, and that flight was heading to LaGuardia. Now, last week, we were telling you about 12 incidents around the New York area. That night, there were a total of 35 nationwide. Right now, the average is closer to 15 a day. And the FAA tells us they've seen a real spike, not only since 2006, where you can see the number of incidents has gone up tenfold, but since May 15th, there have been nearly 1,000 incidents. For the year, we're hovering around 2,870 reports. All of last year, there were nearly 4,000. So we've moved from an average of 10 to 11 a day last year to closer to 15 a day this year. And this is a crime. It is a felony to shine a laser pointer at an aircraft and can carry a prison term. Typically, the FBI says 5 years, but in some cases, we understand prosecutors have been able to win convictions much more than that, as well as the possibility of a fairly substantial fine. The challenge, of course, is catching the people doing it. In this case, we know that police were notified on the ground of the general area where the laser pointer was coming from, but they essentially have to catch the person in the act in order to arrest these people. So it is not easy. The FBI told us last week that they had launched 23 full investigations into laser incidents so far this year. That's 23 investigations, and we've had 2,800 reports. So it can be a real challenge to find the people doing this, and often the FBI believes that they are younger people, teenagers, kids, who are essentially messing around with what they think is a toy. But in this type of situation where these strikes tend to happen, where the pilots are either taking off or landing, it's really not the time you want your pilot to be temporarily blinded.
For sure. Kris Van Cleave reporting from Washington. Kris, thank you.